When the Vermont Historical Society was founded in 1838, our state was only 47 years old. That's only one generation removed from the events that founded our state and our country. Vermont's story is America's story, a story of immigrants, innovators, indigenous peoples, and the fabric weaving them all together. That initial drive to preserve, share, and chart a course for the story of our state has been brought forward through the years in all we do. Like the Society's founders, we believe that an understanding of the past changes lives and builds better communities. Vermont Historical Society utilizes many different approaches to help accomplish that mission.
Outreach is an integral part of so many of our programs. Our work does not and cannot exist in a vacuum. The feedback that we get from people is essential to our work, whether it's visitors' comments at an exhibit, or feedback we get in a lecture, or the people we get to talk to during the course of researching an exhibit or podcast. I don't think there's any greater example of that than our work with the local historical societies. There are over 190 local societies in the state. I think that really speaks to the connections that people have to the stories and the pride in their communities.
The local historical societies are almost exclusively, with a few exceptions, manned by volunteers with very little experience, but just a lot of passion. And the Vermont Historical Society can help them grow and be sustainable.
Every town and community in Vermont is central to who we are, and we're devoted to exploring and understanding all of them.
Everybody has a story to tell, and everybody wants to tell their story. And local history is vitally important to people in their towns. You drive around, you see the people, and how proud everybody is of where they're from. You travel out of state, you say it with pride, I'm from Vermont, even if they don't know where it is. Once you start putting the pieces together and you explain what a wonderful place this is, really that's what it is to be a Vermonter.
Exploring tangible objects can inspire people to learn more about their own story and our collective story, help other people tell that story, and most importantly, tell a story for those that don't have a voice.
There are some that I think are kind of spectacular things, one of which I think is interesting because it's the Chambers Atlas of Lake Champlain that was done in 1775-6. They were sounding the lake in preparation probably for the Revolutionary War. But the interesting thing about this is there's actually only two of them in the world. One is here, one is in the British Library. And that makes it a rather special item. On the other hand, I just love the collections of letters that tell stories. We have a collection of a Montpelier family. In it, the woman has been diagnosed with a tumor, and actually it goes through the whole step of her health care in 1840s. It's just amazing. It's a side that we don't hear about very much. And so that you start having people live and come off the pages. And so, you know, the diaries and letters that we have here, every time I hold one, I'm sort of in awe of, you know, the lives of the people that I'm holding in my hands. And we hope that our collection can help researchers and ordinary people come and discover more about Vermont and its absolutely wonderful history.
The amount of time spent on history and civics education has steadily declined in American public schools over the past generation. That is why it's vitally important that VHS continue to offer educational opportunities. Field trips to the museum in Montpelier provide enrichment and enhancement for students studying Vermont history.
I remember coming in every time we had history for homeschoolers and seeing the catamount and feeling this sense of pride in my state, and also feeling a little bit in awe of this majestic animal that was in a glass case here.
You transition into the wigwam and people talk to you about that, and my imagination started to light up thinking about being a Native American, like meeting the Native Americans. And that was really important too, because that was maybe the first time I'd realized that there was more to our history than just coming over on the Mayflower and the American Revolution. So that was a big thing for me as a kid.
At VHS, we approach education from many different angles. Field trips to the museum are an important opportunity, but we also have lending library books, history kits, and resources available to teachers to use in their curriculum. Programs can take a traditional classroom approach, but other activities are more hands-on or student-driven.
I remember seeing the Ku Klux Klan hood for the first time, and my mother trying to explain to me what racism was.
I think it's going to help give me a better understanding of the world that we live in, which I think is really important. There's so much that I think we miss by not studying history.
Knowledge of our past is relevant to understanding the present and making informed decisions for a better future. Every student that we can reach through history provides a better chance to make a positive impact.
Vermont Historical Society is an institution that is devoted to exploring the history of Vermont in the context of the present and the future. Help us chart a course for the next 180 years of learning and sharing. While we can't change history, together we can change the way history is shared and appreciated by all.